Kathy, it's always so good to have you here. And I know it's February, so many people are thinking about love, but you're really thinking about numbers, right?
Sorry, taxes are on my mind.
'Tis the time, yes. So today, Kathy, you're going to break it down for us. If you have an identity crisis out there, which is actually more common than you might think, who am I? How do I know what box to tick off on my taxes? So talk us through the different filing statuses.
Okay, the first filing status is single, which some people think is just a no-brainer, but sometimes you are single when you have a child at home and you're living with a parent, with your parent.
Okay, so you can be single even though you might be a parent.
Yes.
So who is a single person? Who should tick off that box?
Single person at the end of the year, which is 12/31, is one that is not married. They are providing a home for themselves usually.
Okay, all right.
So there are exceptions, but usually this is where it hits. A single person, no other, choices.
People relying on them. Okay, so now let's step to the next category. What's the next category?
Head of household. Head of household, a lot of people want to fit into because they provide all the support for that household.
Okay.
But head of household is a single person with a child living in the home that they provide more than half of the housing support.
Okay, so a single person, though, that's what's critical.
Correct.
So if you are married and you consider yourself the head of your household, according to the IRS, that's only a single person supporting a child or children.
Correct. Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so then moving on to the married statuses now. There are a couple of different married statuses. Explain
Correct. You have married filing joint,
Okay.
which means it's a couple that have a marriage license issued by the state.
Okay, so not common law or not just folks that consider themselves married, but they have to have an issued certificate from a state.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have married filing separate, which means that you have been separated for part of the year and that you are filing showing that you are still married. Legal separation sometimes fits into that.
Okay.
But
and
it's a higher.
Yeah, that's the last category you want to fit into, right?
Yes. It's a higher category for taxation, and you generally get no credits at all.
Okay, all right. So if you're going through a tricky situation, a separation or divorce, you really probably want to consult a professional about whether you should be married joint or married separately, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the final category?
Is widow or widower, means that your spouse died the previous year and you have a child in the home or children in the home.
All right.
And you would be a widow or widower, and you get to get that tax bracket.
And again, that could be confusing because if you are a widower and a widower, but you no longer have children residing with you, you are now in the single category,
Single person, correct.
Okay, so the point here is this can be really confusing.
Yes, that's why you need me.
Right, you really need a professional. You need somebody to help you sort this out because if you do tick off the wrong box, the IRS might come back at you, right?
Generally they will.
Okay, and then one last little tip. As all this paperwork is coming in, when should folks expect to get all their W-2s, all their W-4s? When should all of that theoretically be here so they can move forward?
Because IRS is a little bit slower this year and slow in starting, everything should be to you by the end of February.
Okay. So
it's changed a little.
So it is a little slower this year, but if you don't have it by the end of February, it's fair game to track it down.
Please track it down.
Okay, great, Kathy. You've cleared up a lot of identity crisis for us today. Hopefully people will consult their professionals because you really need to. Thanks.
Call today for your free tax strategy consultation or visit me online for more information.